Hello, Squirrel Tribe. What I saw earlier today, I don't know if I should consider it one of those see something, say something scenarios, or if this was just a regular everyday occurrence. My family and I are dodging the Hurricane Helene, which has been upgraded to a Category 4. They're saying it looks worse than even Hurricane Katrina was. They're saying it's like an unprecedented hurricane, and it looks absolutely horrific. I believe they're up to 61 counties in Florida alone that are under a emergency watch. Georgia's going to get an incredible back end of it. It's going to just be awful for a bunch of people. Driving from where we are in Okaloosa County in Florida, 4 hours west to get to New Orleans because we wanted to be far enough away from the storm to make sure we're safe. Plus, we've never been to New Orleans. Figured two birds, one stone, right? So we drove all the way here, and on the way we passed so many vehicles headed towards Florida of tree cutters or movers and power line people and task force search teams and all different kinds of trucks. I mean, and ambulances and fire trucks, like literally a ton of people headed that way. And if you jump on any social media right now, you're gonna see tons and tons of videos showing hundreds upon hundreds of different vehicles that are ready to go once this hurricane fully hits to go help the people, right? I saw this post earlier and it said one of the sheriffs in one of the counties had requested that if people were staying, if they were hunkering down for this storm, for this Hurricane Helene, and they weren't going to evacuate like they've been asked to do, they requested that they take a Sharpie and on their arm, they write their name, their date of birth, and I don't know if it was home address or phone number, but something along those lines, in case they find their body. Like, that is how extreme they know that this hurricane is going to be. And it's going to be very, very bad for a lot of people. And so anybody out there who happens to be in the path of this, I am praying for you. And I hope you guys are safe. I hope you're doing the right things for your family. And what you're able to do is to stay safe, stay calm, stay everything. So anyway, so we're here in New Orleans and we took a trolley today. Never been on a trolley. It's $3 for 24 hours. It's me, my husband, our daughter, and my mother, because she moved to Florida and we wanted to get her out of the space too. So we came here so that everybody's safe and together. We brought our animals with us, and we got these passes for this trolley. So we take this trolley, we went all around, and today was the first time, again, I've ever been to New Orleans. And you see it in movies and you think to yourself in movies, oh my gosh, the French Quarter is gorgeous. New Orleans looks gorgeous. And then you get here. And no disrespect, no hate to anybody from New Orleans who loves New Orleans, none of that stuff. But I will say that from what my husband remembers, because he's been here years ago, but from what he remembers to now, from during a Trump administration to now during a Biden administration, this place is dirty. And again, no disrespect at all, but there are a lot of homeless individuals, and it could be because of, there's still a lot of issues from when Hurricane Katrina destroyed, you know, basically most of Louisiana. Like, Hurricane Katrina took a massive toll on everybody, and it's still, it looks like, I was very surprised that the French Quarter looked the way it did, with the amount of trash on the streets, the amount of homeless people, the amount of unkept buildings. You would think that because so many people come here to visit that they would keep up with everything better, right? But the people have been absolutely amazing, so incredibly friendly. We've had zero issues whatsoever. It is just definitely dirtier than I expected it to be. And I did not realize that there's palm trees in New Orleans. I had no idea. I don't know how I've missed how close it is to the actual ocean itself. Hello, Hurricane Katrina should give me a full idea of exactly how close it is to water. Don't blame it. Sometimes I'm extra blonde. But I was not expecting all the palm trees that are here. It's absolutely gorgeous in that aspect. And the places where it's greenery, absolutely gorgeous. There's some really old buildings that are absolutely gorgeous. And again, the people are great. Anyway, we're on this trolley. And it's sardines in a can. It is friggin' jam-packed, right? Because it's like at 5 o'clock, it's on a Thursday, and people are trying to go home from work, and there's tourists and everything else. And this guy gets on the trolley and he's standing, so it's my daughter up next to like a plastic shield kind of thing. I put her where she was covered from anything there. That's me, my mother, and my husband on the other end. That way he's able to protect from that end. My daughter is covered from anything coming this way because that's just how we think, right? And I have visual past her to anything that's going on. This guy gets on the bus or the trolley. And he's standing next to her, to where her glass thing is. And he's dressed nicely. He's got on a button-up shirt. He's got on slacks. And he looks like your everyday middle-aged, overweight, balding, you know, average American white guy. Like, that's what he looked like. And another person got on with him and stood across from him. And this other person that stood across from him, my daughter looks at me and goes, are they like 15 or like 16? And I quick glance, the person has long hair, a dress, some Birkenstock sandals, a purse, whatever else. And I just quick glance and I was like, 15 to 18, whatever, right? And I go back to talking to my mom. Then this other guy gets on the trolley and he walks past the guy with the button-up shirt, your average, whatever, right? Average guy, walks past him and goes, oh, hey, funny seeing you here, whatever, and then keeps walking. And I made a joke to my husband. I'm like, I'm just gonna start walking up to people I've never seen in my life and be like, funny seeing you here. Just to like, they'll be like, what the hell is she talking about, right? Anyway, and then keep going. So then we realize that the person across from him that I thought was a female in a dress, gorgeous hair, like the hair was gorgeous, there was bangs, it was long, it was very Farrah Fawcett-y kind of hair. The person had a very large Adam's apple, number one, and then we realized there's a little bit of a mustache here, number two. And at that point, we're having this conversation via messaging back and forth. Like the four of us are sitting there back and forth messaging because we're not going to have the conversation out loud. Because I mean, I'm an asshole, but I'm not a rude asshole unless I absolutely have to be, right? And it wasn't called for at that point because we still didn't know what was going on. So we're messaging back and forth, and I'm like, I don't know, is that a guy, is that a girl, what's happening here? And my mom's like, no, that's definitely an Adam's apple. And our daughter's like, I didn't even realize what that was. Like, I thought it was just a like girl. And I told my mom at first, I said, I think it's a female, just unfortunately very unattractive, but it's definitely, at this point, we know it's definitely a guy. So then my husband goes, I don't think that that's a son, daughter, and their father. I think that's a prostitute and their pimp. And I'm like, but wait, the person is dressed in a, you know, feminine, girly kind of dress with the hair and the whatever else. I wouldn't have looked at that person no matter what and thought to myself, you know, paid sex, right? And then it started to click when that guy was like, fancy or funny seeing you here or whatever else like that. I was like, wait, does that mean that he goes to that guy for stuff like that? Like, what is going on? So we start watching, obviously, and the guy is really focused on the person across from him. The person across from him has got eyes down, whatever else. And so then I'm like, wait, is this really that kind of situation, or is it a father-child? But either way, it's going to sound really effed up when I say this out loud. You don't really expect to see that many like transgenders out in the wild. And I know that sounds wrong, but it seems like something that is more pushed on social media and from the left and, you know, the Democrats and everything else. But I personally don't see them walking around where I live. I don't see them even in Atlanta. I see cross-dressers and I see really feminine gay men, and I see very masculine lesbian women, but you don't generally see trans people. And we saw probably 2 or 3 just today, but I wasn't expecting that one on the trolley. But it's like, it doesn't occur to me how certain cities are literally geared towards the same people that Kamala Harris is banking on their votes. And when we were walking through the French Quarter, we saw numerous places that had Harris Walls flags across from, you know, the LGBTQ flags. We saw one that has the white and pink color, which I'm pretty sure is the pedophile part of the flag. And I'm like, how is this okay with anybody? It was absolutely crazy to me. And it's like the problem here is I want to go to places like this and I want to say, oh, this place was great. I liked the hotel, these restaurants, and I would want to tell my friends and family to come here. But at the same time, it's so far away from what I believe is okay that it's hard for me to say, yeah, you should definitely come here and visit and hang out and do whatever else. And again, there's nothing wrong with people, right? There's nothing wrong with anybody that wants to be whatever they want to be. I have no problem with it unless, of course, it is something that's being pushed on children. And it's something that's being pushed into my daughter's life via her locker room, her dressing rooms, her fitting rooms, things like that. Whatever you want to do after a certain age, that's on you. You do you, boo. But under 18, I don't think it's real. I think it's a push, and I think that parents should be legally whatevered for it. But this person, again, I have no idea if it was a boy or a girl, and it was very, very, at the end of, after we got off the trolley, it was one of those things of, what did we just see? Like, I was very confused about what we just saw. And I don't know why I wanted to tell you guys about it. It was just, it was different, and it's not something I'm used to seeing, so that's why I'm mentioning it to you. Anyway, sorry, I know that's probably not what any of y'all want to hear or talk about, but I wanted to just share all this stuff with you. So The thing I do want to talk about today, there's a lot going on right now, but there is this this X post that I came across, and it says here, listen, Pennsylvania teacher says they're forcing them to register as Democrat voters to be a part of the teachers union. How is that okay? This is the quote. Sister is a teacher in Pennsylvania, told me that her sister has to be registered as a Democrat to be part of the teachers union. The PSEA, which I'm guessing is Pennsylvania something E, I don't know what it stands for, is funded by Democrats and the school board as well. So to secure the union benefits, they register themselves as Democrats. This might not be news to you, but it's news to me, and that's wild. And that's from the Red Pill Patriot, has that up on X if you guys want to take a look at that. But that is crazy to me. And it's one of those things of, how is that okay? How is that legal? It's coercion, number one. It's illegal, number two, I'm sure. But it's also bullying. You want to keep your job? Okay, fine. Then you vote this way or you don't have a job. You want to keep your job? Okay, you get this shot in your arm or you don't have a job. You want to keep your job, you whatever, or you don't have a job. Like literally, that is not okay. And for that to be how Democrats are running things and how they want to secure votes is really, really shisty in my personal opinion. I can't imagine wanting to help children, okay, because there are some really good teachers out there who are there for the betterment of children's minds, right, and not to push woke liberal agenda BS. For those teachers to go, I can't wait to teach children to help them learn about, you know, our country, our history, the world, whatever else, and then they get there and they go, oh, you're a Republican? I'm gonna need you to vote Democrat or else you can't have a job. How is that okay? You guys may have seen this already. There are videos around of certain schools where there's this one where the mom went to the school and she was like, how dare you register my child to vote and tell her that she needs to vote Democrat. I don't know what school this was at, but a mom went to the school pissed off because they registered her daughter to vote, and then they told her, they registered her as a Democrat and told her to vote Democrat. There was another school, they were having Kamala Harris Day at this elementary school. So they had a whole day devoted to these children learning about Kamala Harris, drawing Kamala Harris, writing stories about Kamala Harris, and basically learning, I don't know what Kamala Harris has ever done that's positive, but learning about Kamala Harris. They did not have a Donald Trump Day, but they did have a Kamala Harris Day, which again, I am not okay with. You have more and more celebrities coming out and endorsing Kamala Harris. And my daughter and I, she's 15, we talk about stuff like this all the time. And I asked her, I said, would you vote for Kamala Harris? She's like, no. And I said, why not? She goes, because she doesn't say anything. She doesn't do anything. All she does is say no words. Like she talks all the time and something about being unburdened by some stuff, and she laughs like she's crazy, and she doesn't have anything to say. And I was like, would you vote for Donald Trump if you were voting age? And she said, yes. And I said, why? And she said, because he talks about the economy. He gives you actual reasons and ways that he's going to make things better. Because he talks to me and the people like you and Dad talk to me. Like her dad and I talk to her like she is smart and needs to know what's going on. Where I think a lot of parents, unfortunately, talk to their kids like they're either idiots or like they want to coddle them and shield them from the world. And those are the same kids who are going to vote Kamala Harris because they don't understand how effed up everything has become, and they don't understand how important it is that this election goes differently than the way the last election did, right? So it's just interesting that you have schools out there that are telling you if you're not Democrat, you don't have a job, and then are using their platforms, their schools, their teaching abilities, their whatever else to register you to vote and make you vote Democrat, and then to have Kamala Harris days. Everything is pushing towards the left, and that's crazy to me. Maybe, you know, Christian schools or maybe even certain private schools are going to be more conservative Republican, but your majority public schools are going to push left, and I think that that's something that all parents need to keep in mind when you're still sending your children to school, when you're having conversations with your kid, when you say, how was your day? It's not just how was math, what did you learn in language arts? It's what are your friends talking about? What are teachers talking to you about outside of the daily plans or whatever else? Like, what are they telling you? What are you learning about? What are they showing you on TV? You have to have those conversations about more than just the normal, how was your day? What did you eat for lunch? And what did you learn in math? You have to dig deep and have those big conversations. This to me is huge. So this is Donald Trump. I want you guys to hear what he has to say here. If I can get the volume up on this. I have way too many tabs open because y'all know how I work. I have 18,000 tabs. So, okay, let's see if we can get this to play. I want you to see and hear what Donald Trump here has to say real quick.
But they went in there and everyone knows they threatened the 25th Amendment. They threatened him with the 25th Amendment. They said, Joe, you're going to get out. And Nancy Pelosi led the charge. And Nancy Pelosi has a little problem because her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that.
The timing.
Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that. And she should also be prosecuted for J6 because she turned down 10,000 or any number she wanted, soldiers or National Guard. And I hope you all read John Solomon and what John Solomon wrote 2 days ago, because if you read it, you'd see that Donald Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. It's a scam.
I agree 100% with him. So Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice, and literally the day before that happened, Nancy Pelosi's husband sold off like all of their stock or whatever in Visa. And you're going to tell me he just happened to think that, oh, you know what, today, out of everything I could do today, I think I should sell stock. And out of all the stock I should sell, pretty sure Visa is the one I should sell, and we should sell like all of it. That feels very insider trading-y. I don't know if that's the correct word, insider trading, but it feels very not okay, very illegal, not very demure or respectful or mindful. It feels very illegal. So I do think that they've got to keep looking at Nancy Pelosi. Yes, she's not in her seat anymore or where she used to be, but the fact of the matter is she still pulls strings. She still has a reach. And the fact that she's out doesn't mean that she shouldn't be held liable for the things that she has done previously, like turning down the help for January 6th when Donald Trump said, hey, listen, you're going to need something because it could go crazy here, so you need to have people. And she goes, no, it's fine. We've seen the video of her walking out to a car with her daughter going, it's my fault. I should have known better, blah, 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 paraphrasing here. We have all the proof we need, and yet they're still trying to go after Donald Trump, go for his jugular on things like that, which is absolutely crazy to me, especially this far in the game. We all know that they should be looking at her. Now this here, y'all, I love Candace Owens. YouTube has demonetized Candace Owens. They don't like what she had to say when it came to Israel and Palestine and Gaza and Hamas and all this other stuff. They didn't like her take on it, so they demonetized her. Instead of allowing her to speak facts and then also have opinions, they demonetized her. They made it so that she can't make money doing what she does. They've gone through and done this to numerous channels. They've also taken channels completely away. Well, Candace Owens discovered that the picture of the lady, so there's this picture of Kamala Harris, right? And this is how they're trying to say that she's black. So there's this picture because her dad is from Jamaica. Just because you're from there doesn't mean you are black. I could have been born in Korea. It doesn't make me Korean. I'm still 100% Caucasian. I just happen to be born in Korea, right? Well, Kamala, that's how Indians say the name, Kamala. Her dad was born in Jamaica, and they're trying to show this picture of this black woman and this black man and say that they are her grandmother and her dad, right? But the problem is, then there's a picture of Kamala, because I'm not going to call her the other way, Kamala, later on with another black woman saying that's her grandmother. But Candace Owens discovered that the picture of the lady Kamala Harris took a picture with, claiming it was her Jamaican grandma, died 4 years before Kamala was born. How do you take a picture with someone who died before you were born? This should be national news right now. So this is a couple minutes long, but it is definitely worth listening to. And Candace Owens brings receipts, and I love the way she digs into everything. So I want you guys to hear this. Let me close down these other tabs because once again, let's go.
As speculated, we were able to confirm that Kamala's black grandmother that she showed us in that picture died in 1960, before Kamala was born.
You see that?
I can show you right now her death certificate. Let's take a look at Beryl's death certificate, which confirms. As you can see there, it says that she died in July of 1960. It also tells us on the right-hand side, you guys probably have to zoom in on this, but she died of a uterine infection, uterine fibroids due to a hysterectomy. It has her listed as 39 years. That's actually a couple of years off from 1917, so somebody may have gotten their math wrong here. But you once again see that it lists her birthplace as Saint Anne. And so this is a huge scandal. Just an absolutely huge scandal. Kamala Harris published in her book that she was standing next to her Grandma Beryl. But Grandma Beryl died in 1960, 4 years before Kamala Harris was born.
And this is the woman that wants to be president, the one who will flat out lie about everything and pretend that she's not lying, the one who will tell you that the sky is made of bricks and expect you to believe her because she told you so. I'm just saying, there's a lot that needs to be looked into when it comes to Kamala Harris before people go out and vote for her. Of course, the left side that loves her, they're already going to vote for her. It doesn't matter. You almost can't change anybody's mind at this point. But there's a lot of stuff that does not make sense. Kamala Harris has been to a lot of Diddy parties with Montel Williams, probably with Mr. Willie Brown, without Mr. Willie Brown's actual wife. But Kamala Harris has been seen with Diddy numerous times. She is basically the different version of Oprah in the way that she moves among all these men and everything else. And I think there's going to be a lot more that comes out in regards to her and Diddy and things that go along in that group, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in California where Kamala helped Diddy through some stuff. I don't know if my husband has a video about that, or maybe Tiano has a video about that. I'll figure that out and put a link for it in the description, because I've seen the video and there's a lot of stuff between Kamala and Diddy. So I'll put that in the description once I find the link to it. But either way, this is just random stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Again, I hope everybody is staying safe in the storm, because the Hurricane Helene, it will be hitting right now and it's going to be very bad. The people in the rest of my family in Georgia, they're going to have it even worse than us. There's a video of Pensacola Beach, Florida, and people are out there surfing right now or earlier today, and it looked like something out of California. Pensacola does not get surf weather. Like, that is not how that works. There's like little baby, like lapping waves, and these jokers were monstrous, and people were surfing like big surf. It's absolutely crazy. So let's see if this is, I want to see if this plays anything, if this is a video I can show you. Oh no, that's not really. They're already talking about how in Tampa, one of the main streets in Tampa is completely covered, completely flooded already, and the storm hasn't even hit yet. It's just the outer bands of it. It's gonna be really, really, really bad, and I really hope that people are prepared for it and are staying safe and have taken the precautions to do whatever they need to do, whether it's stock up on water and food and a generator, or whether it's to evacuate or whatever else. So I am praying and hoping everybody is safe, and I would love your thoughts and comments below on everything from today. Besides that, it is time to go find some place to eat dinner, because we're in a hotel, so cooking is not an option. But I love you guys immensely, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Okay, bye.